friends. Dori Patrick here, back for another Talkie Tuesday. I am on location today. This is so exciting and crazy. I promised my online friends I would do a little tour of my show, Crazy Wonderful. So that's what we're going to do today. How have you been? I hope you're doing okay. Um, we are doing great. We had our open house on Sunday, this past Sunday, to open up the show, and it was so exciting and exhilarating. And I literally went home and took a nap, I think. But it was so great. I saw so many good friends came by and folks from the congregation here at the church where the exhibit is. And it was just like this fabulous energy. So exciting. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this show, kind of, I guess, where the inspiration came from, kind of what kind of work it is, and then we'll walk around together and I'll show you everything. Um, so it's called Crazy Wonderful, and it ended up becoming a meditation on gratitude. That's kind of where my focus, where my brain and my heart went when I started creating these works. This collection includes the very first paintings that I did, the very first paintings of the year. And I was so jazzed by doing those. And they had such good energy. You know how it is. Like, it's just magic sometimes. Um, that I decided I love doing those works on paper. So I decided to do an entire show of works on paper. I am pretty new to works on paper. I generally work on canvas and wood panel for all my art that I take to festivals. With traveling and things like that, it's just easier to pack and unpack canvas and wood panels. I have recently started selling my works on paper at shows. I think I started mid-year last year. And I put them with a cardboard backing and a sleeve, and I sell them out of a little bin. And we had a really, really nice response to those pieces last year. So I've really been digging this working on paper thing. And what has been exciting for me this time doing this show on paper is popping those babies into the frames and realizing how potent they are. Um, and hubby will attest, when I was kind of doing some of this work, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I wasn't like, I was unsure. I was like, ugh, I don't know about this. But I just kept on. And once I popped these babies in these white frames, so everything in here is in a white frame, that is when it really came together for me. And it's funny, I held off on all the framing until the very end, and I really should have framed a few in the beginning, and it probably would have alleviated some of that anxiety about this work. But anyway, so it's all paper. It's a mix of, it's mixed media. You know, I love my mixed media. It's acrylic, it's graphite, pastel, and collage. I am on this collage kick lately. I cannot get enough of paper, painted papers, old papers. I am even like looking around on the streets when I walk the dogs to see if there's anything old and ratty and yummy that I could use in a painting. So, totally addicted to the collage. And did I say graphite? I always add some pencil. There's also some crayon in this, my water soluble crayons that I love. Um, yeah, so it's just been a blast. The focus on gratitude and just how having that mindset of gratitude is something I am always working on. I'm always aspiring to. I am not perfect at it by any means, but it is a great way to focus. And especially being a creative, I feel so lucky to be living this life, to be making things with my hands, and to be making all the connections with you all that I do through my creations. So, um, well, let's turn the camera around and I'm going to give you a little walking tour of the show. Um, and I guess I'll just kind of share thoughts and things as we go along. And yeah, so some of the pieces have sold, some things haven't were snapped up the day of the opening, but there are still pieces available. So if you spot something, take a screenshot, send it to me, and I can send you information. I'm working on getting through all of my photos from the open house, so I'll be able to share more of that in detail as the days go on. But yeah, so here we are. We're going to get started. Okay. All right, so here we are. This is looking out the Second Avenue side of the building. It's a rainy, dreary day today. It's actually a really great day for filming because we don't have that intense sunlight. But this is the back end of St. Paul's. It's a big old church. I'm going to definitely put the link to their website in the show notes. So if you want to look them up, you can. So we're going to start over here. And I am no camera expert, you guys, so I'm going to really try my best to do this and not shake too much. The hearts on the end are collage hearts that I created. I'm going to zoom in so you can see some of the paper, and hopefully that glare won't get in our way. So these are collage hearts that I used with scraps of paper, and they were put on a canvas panel with heavy acrylic paint. I don't know how well this is going to pick up the texture, but there are layers of paint because I really wanted it to look heavily textured. So there's that. And I did 6 of these. The other 3 are on the plinths, and we'll get to those in a minute. So this set of 4 paintings, these are titled Thankful, Grateful, Blessed, 1 through 4. And they are 12 by 12s on heavy duty mixed media paper. I kind of found myself working in little series. So that's kind of why I've done things in 1, 2s, and 3s and such. And these are heavy on the collage. And I really, really like this one a lot. That little mark up there reminds me sort of an angel's wing. So that makes me really happy. Yeah, then we get to the Mama Jammas. These are the biggest paintings in the show. I did 6 in this size. This is 18 by 24. And the ones over here on this wall are called Grandma's Quilts. Whoops, there we go. This is Grandma's Quilt 3. And someone fell in love with this one because she plays bingo, and there's a little scrap of a bingo card from my paper stash. So these are Grandma's Quilts 1, 2, and 3. So that's 3. We're kind of going backwards. This one is 2. This one is a little more pinks and springy colors. I asked folks at the open house to share what their favorite pieces in the show, and several ladies told me that this was their favorite one, and they said it's the polka dots that drew them in, and they really loved this pink crayon. That made me happy. So that's Grandma's quilt 2, and then Grandma's quilt 3 is here, and this is the very first one that I did. And I'm sorry, there's a table here, so I'm going to try. Let me just see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's better. Okay, so this is Grandma's quilt 1. This is the very first Grandma's quilt that I did. And this one is my personal favorite out of the quilts. I don't know why. I think it's this bold section right here. This is paper that I cut random shapes out of, and I love that bold mark of layering it on that other paper. And the colors just sort of jazz me. It's like something I don't usually play around with. There's some dark brown in there that I usually don't play with. And I love this little section of texture. Yeah, that was fun. Fun. Okay, and then we're going on to Good Life 1 and 2. These are 11 by 14s. Pretty similar to, these were a couple of my early pieces. So I did these straight after the very first ones of the year, 1 and 2. Many people commented on this pink, and that is just a neon pink. I think it's a fluid acrylic by Golden maybe, and I just in this frenzy, I just swooped it on there, and then I stamped it on the other one, and people really liked that mark. It was a little pop of color. Okay, so then let me back up. The next 3 are tulips. The tulips 1, 2, and 3. These are probably the most neutral of all the pieces. And I will try my best to get, I don't know, there's a light right over it. So I did these in a series. These are a little older. I've had these a little while, but I love the pops of the yellow and the pink. And then the tulips, I doodled, and I think that's on some deli paper, some kind of translucent paper, so they just sort of blend and float on the painting, which makes me happy. I hope I'm not making you guys seasick. Whoa. Okay, and then finally for this wall, these are Sunrise on the Terrace. And I bet you can guess where I got that inspiration. My trip to Italy last year. I think about that place all the time. I mean, it's just too much. It's too beautiful. So these were inspired by the terraces that we saw at the villages of Cinque Terre. And the light in that place is insane. It is just breathtaking. And the blue, I've been really gravitating towards this blue a lot, because I have not seen such blue water as I saw when we were there. So I just feel like I want to keep on using it. Yeah, there's lots of collage on here, a lot of mark making. I had a lot of fun doing those. You can see a lot of pink and yellow in this show. Okay, we're going to go move over to the other side. Okay, before we get over to that second wall, these are the 3 plinths, and there are 3 pieces on each plinth. There's more of the collage hearts. And here's one of the minis. I did 6 of these minis, and they are so fun and so addictive. I really love doing this, and I don't want to swing you around too much, but on the other side is number 1 of 3 of these totems, and this light is probably not going to help me much, but I have been jonesing to make totems for the longest time. And at the very last minute, I mean, literally, I am about to put the show up. I decided I was going to make some totems for the show, for these plinths. And it is an assortment of bobs and bits, wood. You can see there's like cardboard, there's spools that I've painted and wrapped. Those little fiber pieces are from my friend Gay. I've made clay beads. I've made plaster beads that I've painted. This topper, the star, is an ornament that I textured and painted. And I'm going to come over here so the light's a little better. Here's the second plinth. There's another heart collage. I don't have my inventory sheet with me, but some of these hearts and some of these minis are still available. So let me know if you want to inquire about some of them. And then here is another. This is maybe, well, I shouldn't play favorites. Gosh, it's really hard to film this. I'm sorry, guys. There's my totem with the heart. And my favorite thing is that bead. That is a wooden disc that I painted, and I collaged a little color wheel on it, and it freaking drives me insane with its cuteness. I love it. And there's more fiber balls from Gay. Yeah, you'll be seeing more of these from me because they were so flippin' fun. Once I figured out all the mechanics. You know, when you start something new, you're figuring out all of the physicality of putting it together, and that slows you down at first. But now I've got it figured out, and so I'm going to bust those babies out. There's another heart collage, another mini. And here's the other totem. Boy, it's hard to film it, but hopefully you can see her okay. She's a little sun face on the top. Let me see if I can get... Here's her side. These are, again, plaster and clay beads that I made. Random bits of stuff. And I just play with it until it looks good to me. And, of course, before I go to that second wall, how could I forget the gratitude tree? This was so much fun. I'm going to get in closer. So this is something I had when we had a store in Uptown Marion called the Dreaming Bear. I had a little gratitude tree. And when customers would come in, they would take a paper leaf and write what they're grateful for and tie it to the tree. And so this started out pretty empty, and it is now really filling up. It's so fun. Look at this one. Well, it might be too dark. It says mommy. Someone's thankful for mommy. Let's see if I can get this side a little better. Yeah. Isn't that so fun? And there are a couple minis here on the table. I can't remember which of these are available and which are not. So just message me if you have a question about a specific one. Okay, now we're going to go over to that second wall. Okay, here we are at the second wall. And I'm going to try, actually, I'm going to come on down here to the other end so that hopefully we'll have the light in our favor. So we'll start here with spinning. This is one of my older pieces. It's 11 by 14. This piece came off of a workshop. I know you guys have heard me talk about it. I went to Orlando and took a workshop with Emily Ball from the UK. And this was a piece that came shortly after I took that workshop. And actually, I had tucked it away and decided that it needed to be shown. So I decided to call it spinning, mostly because of the motion of my hands there. Kind of reminds me of a swirl. It's sort of an abstract floral. Then the next two are also 11 by 14, and these are bouquets 1 and 2. And these also, I think, were heavily influenced by my time taking that workshop with Emily Ball. And I'm going to try to get in so you can see some of the, I really had fun like smudging and scratching. Really, really, really fun. And then here's bouquet number 1 up here. So it's bouquets 1 and 2. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, then these next 3 are 18 by 24. This first one and the third one were the 2 first paintings of the year. That middle one came a little bit later. So this one is This World is Amazing. Number 2. I love that texture. I had a lot of fun ripping, and I can tell you my motto for doing this show was, what if? What happens if I do this or that? This is another 18 by 24. This is called Hear Each Other. And it's titled that because I found this little clipping in a magazine and it just fit. It just fit and it seemed like it needed to be there. This one also heavily influenced by my thinking about the terraces and little passageways when we were traveling in Italy. My favorite thing about this one is that mark, that green pen mark. I don't know why. I love it. Someday we'll have a video where we can talk about working on abstracts and figuring out how to solve them, because I've got some thoughts on that. And then this is The World is Amazing number 1. 18 by 24. Again, one of 2 first paintings of the year. And that's where I did that wonderful pink again. My favorite part of this painting is this little section, those little ink drops and the crayon next to it really make me happy. And we're almost there, friends. Florals. Everybody loves a floral. So these are florals, 1, 2, and 3. And I think you've seen these on my socials, sharing in process photos of these guys. And my main objective with these was really learning when to stop. And I think that's where the magic came with these. Sometimes I can overdo it. You know what I mean? And I stopped myself. I really took my time and tried not to overdo, and I feel like they really came out great. So the lots of collage, lots of paper, lots of heavy crayon. Those were really fun. And finally, these are some older pieces too. I can't remember the dates on these. I wrote on the back, but let me back up. So there's 3, and these are called Ecstatic. Ecstatic 1, 2, and 3. And these I actually taped off the paper and gave it I went crazy in the painting, but contained them with a crisp line with some painter's tape. And they are layered like nobody's business. This one I think is my favorite one out of the 3. And I don't know if this light will pick it up, but there's some metallic in there. So when the light hits it just right, you see this little shiny, little glint of happiness. And here's the final one, Ecstatic 1. And I love that yellow circle with the red. And when you look out this window, Oh, and look at this paper cutting. Isn't this beautiful? So this is the 3rd Avenue side of the building. So cool. Just a very gray day in Cedar Rapids, but that's okay. We need the rain, actually. Hi, guys. I'm back. I hope that I filmed that okay for you. I'm gonna go back through and see if I can edit it. I hope my hand wasn't too shaky. And it takes me a while to figure out all of the focusing and stuff, but I hope I didn't make you seasick. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear what your favorite pieces are in the show. That always gets me super jazzed to hear what everybody loves. This was an accomplishment for me after a super crazy year last year. It was really nice for me to just settle in, buckle down, and focus on some gratitude and channel that through my work. I can honestly say that each and every one of these pieces has me in it, my heart, my joy. And I hope that that comes through for you all. Thank you so much, as always, for your support. It helps me out a lot if you like my videos, if you comment, that's even better. And if you have a creative friend who might enjoy this, I would love it if you would share the link and help spread the word. That is one of the best things you can do to help artists. So wishing you well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.